Hello friends, you joined me outside the gym after a very good week last week. A really new low weigh-in, a big drop actually, to the point where this weekend I get a double day refeed, which I think has been a long time coming. Like I said in a couple of other videos, I was kind of pushing hard to get a lot of body fat off out the gate with this prep, and that's been successful, but it means that, yeah, the rate of loss was pretty hardcore the last few consecutive weeks. So yeah, double day refeed has been granted by Cage, and I'm very happy, which means we can talk about that topic in this YouTube video. So refeeds, the how, the why, the when, we can make it work. And then yeah, first I need to complete this week on the usual calories. So first, let's kick it off with some cardio. While I eat my pre-workout meal, now cardio's finished, got full favorite workout to eat. And while I fill out my nice workout log, maybe it's worth discussing what a refeed is. Because I think when people hear refeed and maybe they're not so clued up on what it is and how to use it, they think cheat day. They think it's like a no holds barred excuse to eat loads of food. And none of that could be further from the truth. Firstly, the refeed is strategic. It's there when you need to reload the fuel tank, when you need to bring some energy back into your contest prep. It's not there just arbitrarily, and it's not really there just for fun. The main prerequisite for these refeeds is that the work got done. If I was behind, if I was slacking, if I was not meeting the targets that I needed to meet, this double day refeed would not be happening. I say this, it's not happening right now. It's this weekend, but that's exactly true. Like, the first thing you need to recognize before you initiate any kind of refeed or diet break is, has it been earned? Because let's face it, you're going to be hungry and requiring food and feeling a little bit of low energy and a little bit of performance drop, realistically a good amount before you actually need or get the refeed. I would have loved this 3 weeks ago, but no need for it. We were cruising along and things are still getting done. That said, workout performance has still been acceptable. The one thing I really noticed the last 2 weeks is the match reps or to snatch that extra rep to keep making progress. I really have to focus now. Because there's no fuel in the fuel tank, I can't just brute force it. Now you have to focus a lot more, summon that little bit more aggression, which perhaps, again, when you're well fed, you don't need to be that fired up, stimulated, aggressive, because you got fuel. Now, the difference in how switched on mentally you are is the difference between getting 4 reps or 8 reps. I really believe that's the gulf and the difference in the reps. It's when it comes to how switched on you are up here. So that's part one of what a refeed is. It's not a cheat day. It's not an excuse to eat anything you want. It's just more fuel and more of the same food sources that you were already eating. Speaking of which, let's fuel up, get ready to train, and let's pull. I think the hardest thing about that is exactly what I said up there. T-bar I mean, that I've actually made a little bit of progress on, single arm pull down, but T-bar I lost the rep. So just when I was saying I had to fight for more performance, performance is leaving me a little bit now, but it's perfect timing. That's kind of what you want. 2 workouts before the refeed is initiated, and I can only just start to see a little bit of performance drop there. And that's on like those big heavy presses, pulls, leg pieces, they're gonna see the performance drop first. So all in all, actually, that's really not that bad, but these next 2 workouts, it's gonna suffer. That was good. I mean, in the end, it was actually pretty decent. I threw in a new variation of a low pulley cable curl, which is spicy as hell, man. So let's get home, eat, and dig into some more refeed stuff. As we cook off some chicken, because I need a basically protein nothing meal. Oh my God, that smells so good. You know you're in a deficit when just like seasoned chicken is like making my mouth water, dude. Oh my God. Right, let's see if I can multitask then, huh? Now we know what a refeed isn't. Let's talk about what it is, how to do it, how to structure it, why you might deploy it in a prep. So, what a refeed is generally gonna be, is it gonna be an increase in calories up from your baseline. So, for me, I think on a low day, somewhere around like 2,000, 2,200 calories. On these refeed days, all that is happening is the macro is the same, except the carbs go up. Maybe if I look more diligently, maybe fats go up a little just to but they'll be like incidental fats. Like, if you get 5 grams of fat for every 100 grams of oats, like if I need to eat another 100 grams of oats in this refeed, there'll be an extra 5 grams of fats, but it's incidental, it's not part of the refeed. It's all coming from carbohydrate, and that's by design generally to replenish glycogen stores, make you feel like build up some energy levels again. Shit. There was this bro scientific theory that refeeds would boost your metabolism or, bring your metabolism back online. In reality, does that actually happen? No. You might feel like you get a bit more energy for a couple of days or maybe a week, just like transiently, but in terms of actually boosting your metabolism, that is bro science for sure. So that is your what. It is a increase in calories coming from carbohydrate to, basically alleviate a little bit of hunger, build back some glycogen fuel stores so you can keep training hard, keep training performance up. God, this is gonna be so freaking good, dude. Just cooked seasoned chicken. That is how you know you're in a deficit right there. So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about an increase in carbs. We're just letting the body have a little rest from the deficit and hopefully bring back some training performance as well. So then the next thing to think about is when to use them and how to use them, which we'll get into, but I really need to eat. Back on the anabolic couch, it's just chicken and vegetables, but I've never been so happy. Oh, today, got another day, and then the refeed happens on Saturday. Pro tip for prep, by the way, chopsticks. It'll slow down your eating. With that, you'll feel more full with each meal. Highly recommended. All right, let me get a few mouthfuls in. And now we know what refeeds aren't, what they are. How are we gonna use them? How are we gonna deploy them? So the key really is to be using them, and there's really 2 scenarios where you're gonna use them. And one is, in my situation right now, quite far out from a show, but you're making wicked progress, scale weight is dropping a lot. That's kind of an indicator that the calorie deficit is really working, but quite high. So you have room to put some fuel back in the fuel tank, make sure you can sustain that fat loss for another amount of time, and not feel complete shit, and also preserve some muscle mass. The other thing you can use a refeed as a tool for this far out from prep, to see how drastic that deficit is. So for example, I had a single high day a few weeks ago, and the weigh-in after that was low. And this might be the same thing with this double day refeed. If scale weight continues dropping while putting fuel in, your body's really, really responsive and just burning through that food, which can be a good thing, but it also tells you the state of that calorie deficit. Is it really high? Do you need to adjust output? Or do you need to keep calories a little bit higher in some other days of the week? So you can use it as an assessment tool of the diet as well, when done properly. But the other application will be further into prep and closer to shows, where you can use it as a mini peak. See how the body responds to certain carbohydrates. See what the look is before a refeed, during a refeed, 2 days after a refeed, and use that to assess how you might want to run your peak week. So it can be valuable information to allow you to run a successful peak week as well, but that's definitely not what we're worrying about right now. Still plenty of body fat to come off. We just have to, as I say, use this version of the refeed to just make sure we can sustain our efforts and preserve some muscle mass as well. But it will be interesting to see further down the track how much refeed days will impact my physique. Kind of keen for that. The main thing I'm looking forward to next week is just some performance in the gym. That is going to be something that, if it impacts that in a good way, considering how this pull workout went, I think it's going to be well needed. Guys, you should not be cooking dry chicken on prep. That is perfect. Hell yeah. And the final word on refeeds really is just make sure that it doesn't. But yeah, that final point about using refeeds as a test for a peak week, it's another reason to be ready on time. I was pretty unfortunate that really we could only do that. Actually, we couldn't really do that at all in 2023. So it'll actually be good to be ready on time and be able to play with some of these things and bring the look alive a little bit more. I think that was probably the problem towards the back end of my season last time, was that by the end I was just pushing so hard that my physique was a little dead. Definitely achieved a really dry look at Worlds. I was really happy with that look. It was very dry, but not so full and no pop. Whereas I think having this time to put fuel in and not having to catch up and chase body fat down, I think the look could be really nice. Hopefully achieve the same level of dryness, same level of condition, this time preserving some muscle mass, but also having a chance to push nutrients into the muscles so we get a nice pop. I think that could be really interesting. Right, I'm gonna relax. Cardio's been done, training's been done, eating, I've cooked. Now it's time to just let it all settle in. One more day, and then double day refeed. Couldn't be more excited. If you stuck around this long, hit like, hit subscribe. If I can get 100 subscribers before my first show in Hong Kong, I'll try and do like hire a proper videographer and do like a full show weekend vlog series of it. But that means you need to hit subscribe. So take it easy. Maybe I'll do something again like a tier list next time. Catch ya.